Alright, so the next step is optimizing your code. The first thing that you should always keep in mind is to use clean coding and clean structures, because you as a developer, as a programmer, it's not just you who are going to developing your code and maintaining it, but there might be other developers, other programmers that might be working with you or might be joining the project afterwards. So always keep in mind that this code is something that is like a legacy from you. So keep it clean and keep it organized. So what I mean is, like, you should always consider to code with principles like object-oriented. Always keep in mind that Unity uses component-based principles. So each component is totally isolated from the other when you use them on a game object in Unity. And with that in mind, you will be able to create codes and create games and objects much more cleanly and efficiently. So the second thing is that you should not use heavy methods in the update method, because the update method in Unity runs every frame. And an example of a heavy method and a complex method is getComponent, which is used a lot by us developers in the update method, which is not a good idea. Let me show you an example. So imagine that I have a game object called G here, and in my update method, I will take the text mesh of G and I will set it to player's health. Just ignore the errors because it's just something that I wrote. There are no objects attached to it or anything. So this is an ugly piece of code because I have my getComponent in my update method and it's running every frame. And to fix that, you have to cache the object, cache the text mesh, and then reuse the object in your update method. So let me show you how it's done. I'm going to create a text mesh called health text, and in my awake method or start method, whichever you prefer, the preferred method is the awake method, but you can do it in start as well. So in the start method, I will say health text.getComponent of type text mesh, and I will save this variable in my health text. Oops, sorry, g.getComponent. So I got the text mesh component from my game object, and I cached it, saved it in my health text, and in my update method, instead of running the getComponent each time, I'll just simply say health text.text equals player health. The next tip is physics.raycast. So the physics.raycast is also a heavy method, and there are ways that you can optimize it. So among the physics method, you have boxcast, you have, let's see what else, capsule cast, sphere cast, and you have many kind of casts, and each of them take a parameter called layer mask, and you can actually add here. So if I say public layer mask, what can I detect, and I can add it as a parameter here in my boxcast. So I think I have to, say quaternion. Yeah. So in my physics boxcast or any kind of casts, if I actually give Unity this specific layers that I want to detect, it will just simply ignore all other layers, and this will actually improve the performance of this method, and it will increase the performance of your game eventually. The next tip is link objects in Spectre instead of using GameObject.find. GameObject.find is another method that is a bit complex for Unity, and it takes time to find an object by its name because Unity looks in all the game objects that are available in your hierarchy to actually find the object that you have told him to. So it's much better to create public game object like object defined, and just in your inspector just add the object to your script, and here just do anything that you want with the object. Last but not least is understanding Unity's execution order. There's this page in the Unity's documentation, and I will provide the link for you. Inside it, you will see the execution order of each method: the awake method, on enable, start, fixed update, update, and this is really important to structure your code based on the execution order of these processes and these methods. So keep a lookout for this page and the execution order as well.